special badge because you're on the board?
We good? All right.
Because I have one of those, but it just looks like.
Yeah. Is that your bad,
So
bad attitude?
Does that get me into
Brewers
like a
Association.
special room or something? Or?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Awesome.
Special.
So John's plugging here today. Everybody's plugging, you know, except me. I got the Brewers Association, which of course John is a member of, and the BN Army, who was kind enough to have us on the radio for a while. And then of course the Lost Abbey. You have a lot of great shirts, and you need to start getting more. Because I like beer's good, but send me shirts.
Every brewery I go to, I buy a shirt.
Oh, you buy? They don't give them to you?
No. Well, Lost Abbey's not in Georgia yet. No,
it doesn't matter.
I just went out there and sasaw Tommy and bought a shirt. So,
all right.
yeah.
There you go. All right. Cool.
They need to be gray and black and slimming. Sorry. Because beer ain't. Sorry.
So, welcome to BeerAmerica.tv. The beer that we have today...
We'll never make it on the Good Food Network.
I'm a little familiar with because the last cask ale competition you and I went to in Atlanta.
Oh, that's right.
He won. Yeah, and I had never heard of them before, but I had heard of Cigar City. Now, I don't know if I have a little trivia out there for those. I don't know how many there. Raise your hands. Who've heard of Cigar City? Anybody? Bueller? Anybody? Cigar? Where is Cigar City? I'm saying Dow knows. He's back on the camera.
I know. I was just there.
Why'd you give it out there? I know. It's Tampa. Ybor City. Ybor City, really popular area down there. You know, you've been to Ybor City?
I have.
I have actually not been to Ybor City, but
come on, we'll go. I know some great restaurants, and there's a great brew pub down there.
So we bring all of this up because the beer that we have today is Cigar City Brewing, the Humidor Series. And that's so tell us what you guys know about Cigar City. Oh, okay.
So Cigar City, Tampa is known as Cigar City. Was at one point the largest producer of cigars.
Hand-rolled cigars. You still the whole deal. Yeah.
And if you are anywhere in Florida, there are two places that I tell people to go. One is the Ravenous Pig in Orlando, best gastro pub that I know of, south of Atlanta. Amazing. Ravenous Pig. And Tampa. I know some great restaurants. The Columbia I love. I've loved it for a long time. And now the guys at Cigar City. So we got this great brewery now down in Tampa that are producing amazing beers.
And this is the India Pale Ale. I'm sorry, I did not mention
that.
Yes.
Wow.
Well,
man, right out of the gate.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Humidor Series in a minute, but right now Cigar City is in Tampa. They're in Florida.
Wow. We'll get to this in a minute. You don't understand what we both... I've never quite smelled a beer like
They're in Florida.
He's got a little Mississippi Leghound in it. It's best to let it finish.
Thank you, Cousin Eddie. Good?
Yeah. I mean, they're in Florida, they're in Philly, and they're in New York. So, you know, if you guys are out in California, send me some Lost Abbey beer, and I'll send you some Cigar City. But
I'm not even going to drink this yet, but go ahead and talk about the whole Humidor series.
Yeah, Joe and then his head brewer, his brewmaster, Wayne. They're just producing some amazing beers, delicious beers. And they hooked up with the home brewer, and I wish I could remember his name, but it was a home brewer that came up with the idea of taking his beer and then putting it in with what the rest of us would call cedar. It's Spanish, I think it's actually Spanish. They call it Spanish cedar. It's actually mahogany, a version of mahogany. But it's what they line cigar boxes with.
That was what the reaction was
this is
for me. If you've ever smelled, you know, I'm not a cigar smoker or anything like that. But we've all smelled, most of us, right? And you lift open what the cigar box or whatever, and that hit me in the face. Like really hard.
Yeah, the aroma is just immediate. But here's what I think is so interesting here. I don't know if there's, I don't know if this is one of those synergistic things or whether it's just all from the cedar, but what I'm getting is this crazy cedary / American hoppy thing.
Oh yeah,
yeah. This is really.
I would have never imagined the synergy that could exist there. I mean, that's
amazing. Well, the Cigar City IPA is called Highlight. It's a delicious IPA. I wish I had one with us to try. It is. Yeah, down in Florida. Yeah, they bet a lot of money, and I lose money at all of those. But they take their Highlight IPA and they then put these this cedar, this
is it like that
Spanish
veneer kind of?
Well, they actually,
stuff like they
I
put
was
in
talking
cigars?
to Joey about it. No, actually, what he does is he gets them custom made. Their spirals
Oh, okay.
of this wood, and he puts them in, ages the beer with it.
That is cool.
It is a 2009 Great American Beer Festival gold medal winner in the wood and barrel aged category.
Yeah. And this is one of those, we've talked about this over and over again about a lot of the best brewers, John, you're one of them, they started life as a home brewer. Yeah, sorry, just gets a little,
Keep trying.
yeah, keep trying. This beer, actually, same thing. The recipe, the idea of putting this particular wood in aging beer in this wood came from a home brewer. So, I mean, this is...
It's good wood.
Well, anyway, my age, any wood is good. But anyways, that's a different issue. That's another issue. So, but I think what's so interesting about this is, I mean, we've all had oak, right? We've all had beers that are aged in oak, whether it's bourbon or rum. This is just something that is so completely different. And they have a whole series. They do the IPA, they do the brown ale. He does that. He does a stout with it. Ages the wood. They're all delicious.
Crazy.
Every single one that I've had.
This is crazy.
Just been amazing.
You've not had this before.
It's one of the coolest things I've tasted in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, totally unique.
It's different.
We try not to get too. We're not trying to rate beers on this site. No. We're not trying to. What I'm trying to say is, with beers that I'm not crazy about, I'm not going to dig them because they're. We are all in this business together. I don't want somebody to dig me. Right. Well, I mean, everybody digs me.
Everybody digs Judd.
Yeah, I don't want to get jabs, in the blogs, But at the same time, you also don't want to go too over the top with the praise because
I think
it sounds preferential, but
it's unique.
I can't help it. I mean, this is a pretty spectacular flavor. This is something that I've not tasted before.
Yeah.
It is really
cool.
And
here's the interesting thing is,
and I don't think you'd have to be a cigar smoker to appreciate that. Apparently, Dow wants some more.
Dow wants more because.
Well, I think what's really interesting, and it's kind of interesting. I met Wayne, who's the brewer, actually out at the brewery in California, and I think one of the other guys that we've had recently that has this same quality is the brewery. And the brewery and Cigar City have done a collaborative beer, which is still aging. Yeah,
cool.
I'm really waiting for that one to come out. But here's two breweries that what they're doing is they're taking completely new and unique ingredients, and they're bringing it into commercial beers, and that's that whole homebrew quality, which I think is amazing. There's people who don't really, I mean, when you're making 5 gallons of beer, you can do anything. And, they're doing great stuff, amazing stuff. Things that, we wouldn't think of doing otherwise.
Yeah, you roll the dice and just...
And I've got to try to find this somewhere because this is excellent. I need to get it.
You got to go to Florida.
Yeah,
and
really, that's it?
And it is worth the trip.
Yeah.
I was just down there a couple of weeks ago, and the IPA is delicious, but I'll tell you the one that I fell in love with is a gruit that they're doing down there, which is a beer. It's kind of funny. Joe will appreciate this when I tell the story. A gruit, of course, being a beer that has no hops in it. They were screwing with Joe, and when they were brewing the beer, the guys got up there with 1 pellet of hops and threw it into the brew kettle. Here's, Joe's trying to make a completely non-hopped beer, and they threw 1 pellet of hops in. So.
Well, the thing is that in order to meet the specifications as a malt beverage, there has to be a certain amount of hops. I think it's like a gram and 100 barrels or something. So they probably actually well qualify to meet the.
But that beer was, I mean, it was so, I mean, and it was part of the Humidor Series, part of this aged in this Spanish cedar. It was amazing. It really blew the back of my head off. It was so delicious because the quality, this wood quality, this kind of cedar quality just jumped out at you.
Well, I'll tell you what, Cigar City is hopefully going to be one of those beers that can be wider distributed than it is right now. If I go to Florida to get this, I think people all across the country would love to try this anyway.
Yeah, I'm seeing a complete,
really nice
devastation of Spanish mahogany in the near future.
Yeah.
Because that's really good.
Yeah, he was there actually when I was down there to see them. They were putting in new barrels. They're hopefully going to expand into some more markets. The problem is the beer is so good that the local market is really consuming everything they can produce.
Nice.
Well, it's
but Tampa's an amazing place. Go to Tampa, great restaurants.
Mons Venus.
and
Humidor Series.
What?
For those who've been to Tampa, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Humidor Series India Pale Ale, Cigar City. Very nice.
And anything from them, amazing, but anything from the Humidor Series, buy them up.
Damn good.
Delicious.
Cheers.
It may be the first time on BeerBanker.tv I've actually gushed about a beer.
I know, it really might be. It's true.
That is damn tasty.
Wow.
I'll share some of the growth.
Super unique.